So this is just a little PSA warning for anyone who's thinking about purchasing an exmark. I don't know if Toro put these motors on. There's your returns. I know it's mainly an exmark engine, but if you have a Kohler ECV940 or ECV980, or the same engine fundamentally, they just have slightly different heads. Get a little bit different power in the 980s. But this is just a little PSA of what you're going to be experiencing. So this is the third time this year that I've had this engine tore down this far. We started the year out with not quite 700 hours on this engine, and every gasket from the valve cover to the sump gasket, everything was leaking. They put garbage plastic valve covers on these, and on these motors you only have one valve cover bolt. So over time that plastic warps down right here in the middle with that pressure being put on it, and you can have this bolt as tight as you can, just about to snap the bolt off, and you can still wiggle that valve cover around. So I put aluminum valve covers on here for him when I did that job. Then head gaskets. This head gasket blew, and we'll get into why it was specifically on this side here in a minute. So I had to tear the engine down again, do head gaskets on it, and here just recently he called me again. This is a commercial client of mine. He called me again, said engine's just spinning and it doesn't seem like it's cranking over all the way. Plastic camshaft, shattered the gears, stripped out the teeth. Mind you, we're still, only 800 something hours on this engine. And then I'll put up a little picture here in a second. What I was talking about with this side, bank one, exmark wanted to kind of keep the back end of their mowers a little bit shorter. So what they did is they rotated the engine. Instead of having the heads, facing towards the back of the motor, they rotated it 90 degrees to where this head is right up against that transmission, right behind that plastic shroud where my finger is. And you can look it up online. There's a bunch of people in the forums and even a couple service bulletins talking about how with that head being pressed right up against that transmission, it overheats. And I think that's why we blew this head gasket earlier in the year. But now, I'll put up a picture here in a second. We have a cracked head, and the valve guides are sticking on it, which I think is ultimately what ruined this camshaft. Luckily we caught the cracks in the head before it dropped valve seats down and blew up this $4,000 boat anchor, which, as far as I'm concerned, that's what this thing should be. But I know between Kohler's quality issues and on the note of quality issues, look at this casting. It looks like spatters all over here. But I mean, a couple of these I can pick off with my nail. That's how loosely they're on here. That's how sloppy Kohler is with the casting process of the blocks. You can't tell me that none of these little burrs fall down. Yeah, see, I just got that one off right there. You can't tell me that none of those little burrs fall down into the oil. There's no screen of any kind on the oil intake going into the pump. So you can't tell me that that's not an issue in itself right there. But I know Toro and Exmark are dropping Kohler. All their 2023 models that are currently in the dealership are powered with Briggs & Stratton Vanguards. So I'm pretty confident those are going to be a lot less problematic than these, because this isn't even 1,000 hours, and here we are. Third time this engine's been opened up and tore down to a long block. That and just distribution problems. It's been almost a week now. I bought this cam direct from Kohler, and it's still just kind of floating around somewhere. But I just figured I would, as someone who's I work on a fleet of these for a lawn care service not too far from here, and he's got a bunch of these Exmarks, the EFI Kohlers on them, and he's keeping me in business, to say the least. But I figure for anyone who might be thinking about buying one of these used, one that's a couple years old, maybe has, you know, it's almost 1,000 hours on it, you might think that's a good deal. If it's got an ECV fuel-injected Kohler on it, stay away from it. Let it be someone else's problem. All right, I'm out of here, guys.